Do you guys remember the last time someone or something made you feel small or insignificant? Made you feel inadequate? Made you feel powerless? Maybe it was a boss who was placing an unrealistic demand on you and you felt trapped in the situation. Or maybe your kids were acting out and you didn't feel like you had what it took to step up in the moment and provide the sense of control and calm that your family needed. For me, even just this season here, living in Victoria, with all the restrictions around, are enough to make me feel powerless. And I'm sure there's something that's coming to mind for you, a situation that you're aware of in your life where you feel stuck. You feel like you don't know how to move forward. And maybe just because of the hand you've been dealt in life, you've got 101 reasons why you can't. So I want you to just become aware of that area in your life, aware of those feelings, where you're at in this moment. And I want to take you into a story today. If it helps you guys, you can close your eyes and just picture as I'm speaking. It was a hot, dry day, not a cloud in sight. What I wouldn't give for just a patch of shade right now. The dust kicked up from the crowds had already begun to stick to the sweat on my forehead. I was tired from all the walking. I could tell the others were too, but we all resisted the urge to find a seat. It seemed like something important was about to happen. Following Jesus these last few months was never a dull moment. We'd watched him perform the kind of miracles that not even the prophets had done, the kind of stuff that would make your eyes pop right out of your head. We were there when over 5,000 people had followed us to hear him speak. There was a way about him that was compelling to people. That's why each of us chose to follow him, even if we couldn't quite put our finger on the exact reason. You just wanted to be around him. Even this past week, the disciples and I were talking with each other about this. What made you follow him? I don't know if any of us could find a solid answer, but I'm getting off track here. Something important was about to happen. The crowds had been with us for most of the week, but in this moment, Jesus took us aside. There was a great sense of purpose in his eyes as he gathered us around him. As we often did, Jesus began the process with us by working through and processing what we had done the last few days. It's important work that we're doing. This message our teacher is spreading is really changing lives. But I'm still trying to figure out where I fit on the team. What does the master see in me? Why does he bring me along? We talked about some of the messages he shared, and he unpacked their meaning a bit more, a privilege of being on the team. But what we were really excited about was to talk about the miracles we had seen. Watching Jesus, our great leader, restore eyesight to the blind or heal the leper never gets old. If the miracles themselves weren't compelling enough, you should see the look on people's face when they realized he had made them whole again. After we'd gone through some of the highlights of the week, there was a long pause. Each of us sensed that he was about to tell us something significant, as a mysterious tension hung in the air. You've been with me for long enough now, he began. He was slow between sentences, but not because he didn't know what to say next. He always seemed to speak with a firm conviction. You're beginning to get a grasp on the message I'm preaching. You've seen the miracles, witnessed the demons being cast out, and watched how I've cared for people. He paused again, taking the time to look each one of us in the eyes. It's your turn now. That was enough to make my heart skip a beat. I should have been excited, but I was content to just be a part of the crew, serving in some other, more behind-the-scenes manner, something that suited my personality type. On the other side of the circle, I could see Peter getting visibly excited. There was a let me at him sort of look in his eyes. Peter was always outspoken, for better or for worse, always finding himself at the front of the group. The flash and excitement of the miraculous, this seemed like his sort of thing. Miracles, public speaking, me? I know what Jesus just said, but I don't know if that's for me. I'm still trying to understand why I'm here and how I fit in. As these thoughts ran through my mind, Jesus began to walk around the circle, intentionally placing his hand on each disciple's head, signifying a release of authority. I now give you authority over all sickness and disease, and to cast out all demons. Take my message and my ministry and spread it across the land. What do you do with that? I wrote this as a part of a larger story that I'm writing from the perspective of a disciple, because I think we see these world changers as we look back in it, but we don't often get in touch with where are we at in the story. We know the truths. We've read the scriptures. We've heard the sermons. For those of us who've grown up in the church, we've got these truths memorized from infancy. You've been raised with Christ and seated in heavenly places. You're more than a conqueror through him who loved us. The Spirit of God who raised Christ from the dead is living inside of you. But something's still holding us back. It's not what we agree with, but there's something inside. Maybe it came from a traumatic experience in your life, where part of you became shut down. Maybe it was a pattern through childhood that left you feeling inadequate, and you've carried that even into your adult years. For me, I'm still learning to be comfortable with the sound of my own voice. But there's something that we need to learn. We don't need to ignore our feelings. We don't need to repress them. We need to resolve them. And so what's it going to take for us to overcome these feelings of powerlessness and step into who and what God has called us to be, who the world needs us to be, who our families need us to be? What's it going to take? For some of you guys, it's going to take counseling and therapy. What is your freedom worth to you? For some of you, even just hearing this word being preached, the power of God is going out and something is being set right in your mind. You have been given authority by Christ. For some of you, it's going to take some journaling and processing. It's going to take some prayer and meditation. For others, it's going to take a real conversation with your spouse. Something that you're currently, maybe you're thinking of already. It's been intimidating. But we need to move forward. We need to grip these truths and actually face the fears. So I'm going to ask again, what is it going to take for you to move forward?